perfect human being, you're a perfect creation of your Creator, and part of that perfection is the fact that you will make mistakes. So let's talk about your worst critic, you. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Prosperity TV, Randy Gage, live and in color, and I want to build on what we talked about the last show, which was these limiting beliefs we get about success, that we're not worthy. We talked about you might have had a teacher or a guidance counselor, a family member, organized religion, government. There's so many places that you can get negative programming from. I mean, we could talk for hours on that. But what I want to focus on this show is the worst critic, which is ourselves. We can just be so hard on ourselves, so cruel on ourselves. You guys who follow me on the, who did that year-long series where I did the long-form classes, webinars online we did. Remember we talked about Dan Millman's book and the two, prime directives of being a human, which is, of course, when you're good, you get rewarded. When you're bad, you get punished. And as Dan points out in that book, Everyday Enlightenment, by the way, is the book, I think. So, as Dan says so adroitly in the book, we get those beliefs about ourselves, right? We get that you're good, you're rewarded, you're bad, you get punished. And then, of course, we know every tiny little negative thought we ever had, every jealous feeling. And you know what? We're human. That's just part of the process. So we all have those things. We all say things we wish we didn't say. We all do things we wish we didn't have done. We make mistakes. That's just part of the process. The difference, the path to prosperity, how you get over that is this. You recognize you're a perfect human being, you're a perfect creation of your Creator, and part of that perfection is the fact that you will make mistakes. You'll take detours. You'll do things that will need to be changed and modified. And that's part of the process. That's part of the growth to be able to recognize those, course correct, and move forward. That's part of the process of becoming a prosperous person, of becoming a healthy, happy, well-adjusted person. The universe sends us those lessons, and if you don't learn the lesson, the universe is happy to send it to you again, right? So you're going to get enough of those. Don't make it worse with yourself. Recognize, okay, I've made some mistakes, but you know what? Today, this day is January 1st for me. This is my new year, my new day, the first day of my new life, and it can change today. At the snap of a finger, I can make a decision. I can make a choice that my life will be better. And I will stop beating myself up. I will forgive myself for mistakes I've made in the past. And I will give myself permission to be healthy, happy, and prosperous. Boom. Live rich. I'll talk to you next week. For you guys hanging around still, let's keep this punk going on we did last week. This week, you got to write something about the giraffe in the video, and let's keep driving these people nuts.
we're going to have. Now, make sure you understand you're presenting to these three options. Whenever we build whatever it is for this sponsorship pipeline for you, we're presenting to these three options. Option number one, for people who want to become a customer. Option number two, for people who want to build the small business model. And option number three, the big business or the career model. Now, if you haven't figured out already, the option we're doing right here is the big business career model. That's the point of this training. But there is a couple other options. Of course, we have the option about customers, and we're going to talk about those. We have a specific segment, a disc we're going to do on developing a retail base. But I want to talk about the second option, which is the one that most people don't realize because they haven't done the critical thinking about, which is the small business option, which is the option that most people do, but they don't even know they're doing it, which is they have a lead with the products retail type of business. So it means they're in Arbonne, and the way they get prospects is they have facial parties. And they invite 6 or 8 women over to the house. They do half their face with a facial. They get a mirror. They say, here's the half we did. Here's that ugly, nasty half we didn't do. If you don't want to keep looking ugly and nasty, you better buy these products tonight. And they have a very good product, and you know what? People buy the products tonight. However, I remember speaking at their convention. I just did an Arbonne thing a couple of weeks ago. And I told them, how many of you think you're going to sponsor me? You know, how many people in the room would like to sponsor me? I always ask that question. Well, of course, thousands of hands went up. They all would like to sponsor me. But I'm not going to do facial parties in my house. So they're never going to sponsor me if they do the business that way. The same thing if you are a OxyFresh distributor and you're a dentist and you sell your product by selling toothpaste and mouthwash to the people who come in. And if I go to you and you're my dentist and you sell me the mouthwash and the toothpaste and the dental care products, I will probably buy them. Because if my dentist tells me something for my teeth, I usually buy it because he knows more about my teeth than I do. But I probably wouldn't join the business because I'd say, well, I'd have to be a dentist. And then I could tell all my customers to, all my patients to take these products. And the same thing for you guys in Zango and Noni and all who have all of your beautiful product displays set up at your house. And you have the whole spare bedroom filled with shelves. And you get to play store every day. And all your friends come over and you say, yeah, come in here. And then you go to the shelves and you have 6 bottles of this and 6 bottles of that. And you move all around and you got a little shopping bag and a little cash register. And it's just like playing store when you were a kid. Oh, how fun. Well, you're not going to sponsor me in the business. Okay? If I have to put a magnetic sign on the side of my Viper, you ain't going to get me. If you think I'm going to put a lose weight now button on my $10,000 suit, I got news for you, Bubba. Ain't happening. Now, that's okay. You may not want to sponsor me. That'd be pretty foolish, but that may be your thing. Okay? But what I want you to understand is that's one way of doing the business, which is the way most people do the business, which is we lead with the products. We get our business builders as a result of the people who love the products. They have their product experience, right? All you nutrition company people know we have to have their product experience first. We have to cure their gout or their spinal meningitis, or they got to have their first bowel movement in 6 weeks or whatever it is, because then we know they have their experience. We can sneak the business in the back door. Yeah, you know when you're busted. So that's one way to do the business. Now, when I got involved in the business, I told people I got involved in the business for 3 reasons. To make money, to make money, and to make money. Okay? I didn't want to heal people. I didn't get into help people. I didn't get into save the world and the rainforest and the whales and the tofu burgers. Okay? I got in plain and simple because I wanted to make money. I was broke. I was sick and tired of being broke. So I got in the business looking for a way to build some income. Okay? And I wanted to attract other people who wanted to build an income because I wasn't looking for an extra $500 a month. If I wanted $500 a month, I would get a paper route because I could do that early in the morning. There's no need to go to all those opportunity meetings and miss all the TV shows, right? So I was looking for residual income, big income, 5-6 figures a month. So I looked at the business in a big business model, how to do this as a career. I looked at the diamond directors and the lifetime master coordinators and the presidential directors and the dictators for life and all those high pin ranks, and I said, I want to be one of those positions. So I developed a way
everybody, this is Eric Worre. Welcome to NetworkMarketingPro.com. I'm back from Chicago. Moved my daughter back from her first year in college. And yesterday we talked about this concept of how do you build a never-ending prospect list. What's the difference between a poser, an amateur, and a professional? And I promised you today that we would cover the 5 steps to creating a never-ending list of prospects and people to talk to. And I might get to the 5 steps today. I probably won't. I'm of the feeling that we'll probably end up with 2 of the 5 steps, and I'll cover the other 3 tomorrow. But let me talk to you about this idea of an active candidate list. It's so different. Remember posers yesterday? They have this mental list of a handful of people. Amateurs make a list, and they start to drain the list immediately, and their anxiety goes up. Professionals make a list, and they start going through the people on the list, but they continue to expand that list over and over and over. This active candidate list is in that 3rd category of living, breathing, ever-expanding list of people to talk to. And I want to teach you how to be able to find a group of people to talk to all the time, every day, at will, without ever having to spend money on leads, without having to do cold market advertising, without having to talk to strangers every day. And I know that that might offend some of the people, some of my friends online that sell products and services around these lead programs. They're selling leads, they're doing these different things. I don't think it's necessary. And frankly, most of the professionals that I talk to, I think everybody's probably dabbled a little bit with leads, and they've dabbled a little bit with cold market, but none of the professionals, I'm talking about the $1 million plus earners, have really made their fortunes in that arena. What they've made their fortunes in the arena of is this active candidate list, this growing candidate list. So I want to teach you how to be able to do that. And I know also that some of you might be afraid to talk to people on a list that you might create. And I'm going to help you get over your fear. But today, that's not about that today. Today we're going to be talking about the first 2 of 5 steps to creating a never-ending prospect list. In future shows, and I'm talking about the next week to 10 days or so, I'm going to teach you how to be able to kind of game plan to come up with a strategy to talk to different people and do it in a way that's comfortable and do it in a way that's effective. Okay? So you with me? Are you ready to go? Let's talk about the 5 steps to never-ending prospects. 5 steps. And I think I'm going to cover the first 2. The first one is I'm going to recommend that you do something that's a little bit old school, and that is to get a journal for your list. I want to ask you not only take it out of your head, but take it off of the legal pads, take it off of the little backs of envelopes, take it even out of your computer, because I know some of you are in love with that, and put it into something that is hard, that is tactile, that is more permanent, and something that you can have with you at all times. So this really will do a great service for you. If you take it out of your phone and take it out of your computer and take it off of all those pads and put it into something that feels good, that feels solid, and will be with you at all times. Will be really excellent. That might sound like a small thing, but it's a big thing. Please do that as quickly as possible. Go get a journal. You can get them anywhere. And start putting people into that book. So that's number one, surprisingly. Number two is also a little bit old school, but I'm going to walk you through some of the nuances of it, and that is to create a really thorough, comprehensive list of all your existing contacts. And I mean really comprehensive, from all sources, every source that you could possibly think of. Once you have this little journal, and don't wait till you get the journal. You can start on a legal pad and then transfer it to the journal, but start tonight or start today. All sources, every source you can think of, birthday lists and Christmas card lists, and every holiday list around the world, a list of people you invited to your wedding or invited to a party, every source, every place you've ever worked before, every place you've ever gone to school before, every person that's related to you at all, anybody you've ever done business with, every single contact that's in your phone or phones, if it's in a household, in your computer, everything. Transfer all of it into your journal. Even your social media contacts. Once you've really created a contact and it's not just some make-believe thing, transfer it into this journal. And I'm going to talk to you tomorrow at the beginnings of how do you work with social media contacts versus what I would call warmer market contacts, people that you know personally and you spend time with face-to-face. So all of this, and I'm going to ask you, while you're doing this, don't prejudge. Don't say this person would do it and this person wouldn't. Take the person that you're most afraid to call, put them in the book. Take the most negative person you know, put them in your book. The person that you wouldn't want to join your business no matter what, put them in the book. It's just your exercises to empty your brain on paper inside this journal. And you'll find that as you do it, as you write down a name, you go, oh, that reminds me, because your brain can only hold so many at one time, and it'll release, and you'll be able to think of 10 or 20 more, and then 10 or 20 more, and 10 or 20 more. Empty your brain out on paper, and you'll find that this process, once you start, it's work. It really is work. And one of the things that worked really, really well for me is here in the United States, I pulled out a Yellow Pages, like a phone directory, and I'm sure they have that in different places around the world. And in the beginning, in the index, they talk about all the different professions. They start with A, and accountants, and B for bookkeepers, and C for construction, and D for whatever, E for electricians. And you start thinking about all these different people that you might know. Who's the tallest person you know? Who's the shortest person that you know? Who's the skinniest person you know? The fattest person that you know? And it's not about whether or not they're going to join the business or if you're even going to talk to them. The exercise is to create your personal database. Your personal database. And to make it a living, breathing, growing thing. Okay? So number one, get the journal. Number two, an exhaustive, comprehensive list of your existing contacts. And don't spend too much time. If you only have a name, put the name down. You get the phone number or email later. If you have name and phone number, don't worry about the email. You'll get that later. Just get them into your book. Does that make sense? All right. Tomorrow, here's what I want to talk about tomorrow. I'm going to talk about the third, fourth, and fifth way. How you can, through living your daily life, how you can, through strategy and design, and how you can, through social media, expand this list exponentially and do it in an effective way. Okay, so if that holds an interest for you, what I'm going to suggest is that you get your journal, start with your existing list, and then tomorrow I'm going to talk to you about living on purpose, social media, and active searching for quality people and ways to do that. Okay, so question of the day. Are you a person who is looking for a shortcut in order to succeed in network marketing? Or are you willing to work? That's a decision, ladies and gentlemen. So here's my wish for you. My wish is that you decide to become a network marketing professional, that you decide to go pro. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a better way. Let's go tell the world. Till tomorrow, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, this is Eric Worre, and welcome to NetworkMarketingPro.com. I'm here in downtown Chicago, packing up my daughter from her first year in college at the Burnham Hotel. If you ever happen to be downtown in Chicago, the Burnham Hotel is really a cool little spot. Great view, as you can tell. But today, what I want to talk about, I've been hearing a lot of people asking, how do I prospect? How do I get out there and talk to people about the opportunity? So we're going to start a series of shows talking about that subject. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is there's this huge limiting belief that I hear all the time, and that's when people say, well, you know what? The people get involved and that are successful in network marketing, they must know a lot of people. I just don't know that many people. And because I don't know that many people, you know what? I don't know if it's me. And it's such a limiting belief. There's this myth out there that in order to be successful, you must know a lot of people. And here's what I will tell you. That myth is untrue. Finding people to talk to is a skill, just like any other skill that you need to develop. And it is a skill that I learned to develop. And there are three different kinds of people when it comes to approaching our business. The first group are the posers. These are the people who, they never even make a written list of people to talk to. They make a mental list of 3, 4, 5, 6 people to talk to, and then they go approach those people really poorly, and depending on the results of that mental list, what those people, their first impressions were, that will determine whether or not that person stays in the network marketing profession. Really bad business plan. If you're going to add that to any business plan in the world, your results are virtually guaranteed. It's such a long shot for you to go out there with such low skill, such a terrible business plan, and be able to have success. Some people do, and that keeps them going in the game for a little while longer, but most people don't, obviously. The second group of people after the posers are the amateurs, which I was at the beginning. And here's what an amateur does. An amateur makes a list, and they write it down, which is a good thing. Writing down a list takes it out of your brain, puts it on paper, and we're going to talk about that in the next couple shows, the best ways for you to be able to expand your list and build your list. But what amateurs do is they make a list of, let's say, 100 people, and then that is their business. That is their entire blueprint for success in their business. And they immediately start to drain the list. And as the list goes down, their anxiety goes up, because if they run out, then the business is over. You know, that's what I did. I made a list of, everybody I could think of, and then I started going through the list. People said no, some people said yes, some people said no, and down it would go, and down it would go, and down it would go, and I started to panic, because if I ran out, then what was I going to do? I didn't know, where else I would go from there. And I remember it took me about 2 or 3 years for me truly to absolutely exhaust my list. And I thought my business was over. I was 25, 26 years old. And I thought my entire career was done because I'd run out. I literally, anybody that I knew had either said yes, no, not now, look, you've called us 10 times, enough already. Whatever it was in my kind of youthful ambition and exuberance, I'd run out. And then I learned out of necessity, because I wanted to really, I really wanted this badly for my life and for my career. I learned what the professionals do. And here's what the professionals do. We're going to talk about this, like I say, in the next couple shows. But I want to just highlight for you. There's posers, make a mental list, drain the list really fast. Either they get success or failure. The amateurs make a written list, drain the list, and as it goes down, when it goes down, either they have success or they don't. And then the professionals make a list, and they start talking to people on that list, but then they learned how to constantly add to the list. Professionals are always finding ways to add 2, 3, 4 people every single day to their list, so they never, ever run out of people to talk to. And I'm going to teach you, actually tomorrow's show, I'm going to teach you exactly 5 ways for you to be able to approach your contact database in a way that you will never run out of quality people to talk to in a professional way. So I hope that has your interest, because that's what the professionals do. They make a list, and then that list never, ever runs out. They always have way more people to talk to than they even have time. That's what professionals do, and that's what I'm going to help you become. What the professionals develop is an active candidate list, an active and growing candidate list, and that's what I'm going to teach you how to create. So those 5 ways, look on tomorrow's show, those 5 ways in order to be able to create that active and growing candidate list. I'm going to cover all 5 ways. So question of the day. How many people are currently on your written list? As you watch this right now, don't cheat. How many people are currently on your written candidate list? Put that number in the comment section below this show, okay? Be honest, and then we'll show you how to grow it from there. So ladies and gentlemen, here's my wish for you as always, is that you decide to become a network marketing professional, that you decide to go pro. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a better way. Let's go tell the world. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Sok millió